Welcome to our 5 on 5. Please be joined again by Congressman Greg Walden. Good to see you, sir.
Good to be with you.
All right, so your bill to combat the opioid crisis cleared the House recently and is headed to the Senate. I understand that they're voting on it today.
Yep.
Okay.
They should vote on it this afternoon and headed down to the president's desk. We think everything's worked out, so pretty big accomplishment to get to the president.
What does this mean for Southern Oregon specifically?
We'll save lives. Literally, there's seldom in this job, seldom times you can say you're going to save lives. But I know, having met with family members who were affected, clinicians, law enforcement, everybody involved in this, and the roundtables we've done over the last few years, this legislation will save lives because it will help people with addiction get treatment. It will help stop the illegal fentanyls from coming in that kill, and everything in between about best practices on prescribing painkillers so we don't overprescribe. It's about how we get the overprescribed painkillers out of the market. It's about alternative pain management strategies, and most of all, telling people you've got hope if you've got addiction because help is on the way.
And you're confident the president will sign it?
Yeah, I am. We've worked closely with the White House on it. We worked closely with the Senate. So I figured we had 16 different committee and subcommittee chairmen, Republicans and Democrats across the Congress involved in this, and we passed it 393 to 8 in the House, and I think the Senate will probably pass it with an equal or unanimous margin. We've all worked on this for a long time. It's really, really important work.
Nice to see some bipartisan agreement going
Indeed.
on, certainly in Washington
Indeed.
these days. So how do opioids factor into a large grant received by Rogue Community Health?
Well, this is money out of some prior work that we've done, and in the work I did to help reauthorize and fully fund our community health centers, which 250,000 Oregonians depend on for access to their care. This is money that will come in and provide additional resource for addiction treatment, mental health, and other wraparound services that are so important to helping people who are in such dire straits. And so this is another round of grants. 17 million into the state of Oregon. We've gotten several million into the district, into, again, health centers from Winding Waters up in Enterprise to one in Boardman to down here in Southern Oregon. And this is the kind of help that we've been fighting for. We're now seeing get to the ground. This is the second round of grants, and it's specifically targeted to people with addiction and people who need mental health services related to that.
USA Today reported the VA Inspector General is auditing mass cancellations at 8 VA medical centers this week after the cancellations of more than 250,000 radiology orders at VA hospitals across the country the last couple of years. I know you pride yourself in your work with vets. What do you think of this?
You know, I haven't seen the report itself. But clearly we're finding time and time again, despite record support for our veterans, which we just approved, record support to help with suicide issues, mental health issues, trying to clear out the caseload, it still seems like our veterans aren't getting access to quality care on a timely basis. I just met with veterans this morning at Punky's, and again, you heard firsthand stories of people who had to wait 2 or 3 months for something, so they went outside the VA system to get help. And that's not how we should treat our veterans. I've got 46% of the casework I do every year with my staff relates to veterans. And it's about getting them access to timely and quality health care, resolving their benefit issues in a timely way. And that tells me there's a broken system called the VA. So we're trying to fix it. We're trying to get accountability and transparency. The president's been very strong on these efforts and very supportive of our work to make sure that the funding's there, the people are there, and then we've got the accountability. And these IG reports, Inspector General reports, are critical in our work because they tell us they can dive deep and say, here's a problem you need to go focus on.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Sure.
Much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to hear with Congressman Greg Walden. Congressman, is Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh fit to serve on our nation's highest court?
I believe he is, but we need to see the results of the FBI investigation. He certainly has had multiple background checks prior to this point by the FBI, by the Senate, approved unanimously by the Senate in the past, has served with distinction on the court he's on. And it'll be up to the Senate to make that final decision when they weigh all the facts.
Did you find Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, I assume you watched, credible?
I did. I think she had a very credible presentation. I think she deserved to be heard, as anyone who has an allegation like this or an experience like this needs to be heard and needs to be heard and listened to. I mean, this is serious matters, and Brett Kavanaugh needed to be heard and listened to in this matter, too.
Judge Kavanaugh denounced the recent allegations against him as a, quote, political hit and part of a left-wing conspiracy orchestrated, unquote, on behalf of the Clintons. Do you think that's true?
I have no knowledge of the Clintons' involvement in this at all. But I do know his view, his version, what he said is he was not there, and he has no recollection. nor do the other three people that Dr. Ford identified who could corroborate her story all said they don't remember any such party. So at some point, as I think the prosecutor who was there said, it's a he said, she said without corroboration.
We're having our debate, our gubernatorial debate
Right.
tomorrow. You're scheduled to debate
Yeah,
your
Friday.
challengers, Democrat Jamie McLeod Skinner and Independent Mark Roberts in Bend this Friday. Is that still happening?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agreed to it right away.
Sure. Okay. Great to see you.
It's good
Thanks
to see
very
you
much.
too. Yeah.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.